me tell you about a former airline pilot, Dr. Susan Michaelis, and her husband, Tristan. They have created a new drama film to help people understand the complexities of invasive lobular breast cancer, the problems associated with its diagnosis, and why there is a need for more research into this particular form of breast cancer. Pleased to say that Dr. Susan is with me now. Hi, it's good to see you. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Tell me what it is, first of all.
Well, lobular breast cancer is a certain type of breast cancer, invasive lobular, and it goes outside a localised area. And initially it will be primary, but then it can become secondary, which is my problem with it. It's difficult because it doesn't usually form a lump. So it's very difficult to see on the scans. And it's more like a spider's web, and the cells are single file. So it gets diagnosed later, and therefore it's under-recognised. People aren't aware of it, diagnosed later, and therefore there's poorer long-term outcomes.
How common is it?
It's very common. It's 15% of all breast cancers,
Wow.
and it's the second most common type of breast cancer, but the research and the funding hasn't gone to it.
So tell me about the film. What have you tried to do in the film?
Well, what we've done is we've made a short drama film, and it's based on my story, to try and raise awareness about lobular breast cancer, that it's so common, as in people aren't aware of it, and they need to, they're so often told, I've had a mammogram and it's all fine, but if they have symptoms, they need to speak up about it. But we've also made a documentary so that I've gone and talked to scientists and my doctors to talk to them about their concerns, because what we need is a specific treatment, and people wouldn't possibly realise that there's no specific treatment for invasive lobular breast cancer. So it's like a one-size-fits-all approach, and all the research has been done on the other main type of breast cancer, and this one's almost been forgotten, so I'm trying to change that.
So is it about the diagnosis, or is it about the treatment that you're more concerned about?
I'm concerned about both, but I'm now stage 4, which means that it's metastatic, it's gone to my bones in my spine. So they give me a treatment, but it's the standard treatment for breast cancer. It's not specific to this type of cancer, and they've known that lobular was very different for almost 50 years. So I have a disease now that is not curable, and that's a problem. And then the treatments, the drugs that they put me on, they run out eventually. So people would expect a specific treatment, and there isn't one. And so I feel very strongly about that. And so what I've done is we've gone to the Institute of Cancer Research and asked them, can you do this? Can you develop us a specific treatment? And they can do it. The technology is there. It's just a money problem. So
where's that money going to come from?
Well, what we've done is we've set up a Lobular Moonshot project, and we're asking individuals, companies, philanthropic people, governments. We're asking governments around the world, you need to help. This type of breast cancer, 15% of all, it's 8,000 people a year in this country alone that are diagnosed with lobular breast cancer. And
that's late stage diagnosis?
No, that's a primary diagnosis.
Oh, okay.
And a percentage of those will go on to get a secondary diagnosis. But if we had a specific treatment in the first place, maybe we'd have better outcomes to not go on and get a secondary diagnosis. So the Lobular Moonshot project, which we've set up, it's, people can find out more at lobularmoonshot.org. It's
lobularmoonshot.org. Yeah.
Yes, because I think the take-home message is people would expect that they're going to be treated for the disease they've got, and it's a different type of breast cancer. It's now recognised to be almost a separate subtype, but it's not being treated that way. So,
how did you know that you had? I mean, you were an airline pilot, very successful lady. How did you know that you had it?
I just had a tiny spot on my breast. I mean, it was so tiny, like a mole. And then it became a little bit red, and I got sent off for a mammogram ultrasound. They showed clear. A biopsy showed that it was breast cancer, invasive lobular breast cancer. The MRI showed a little bit, but it was actually 7 centimetres of lobular cancer during the surgery. I had a double mastectomy. So it was invisible to the mammogram, which is the standard screening. So that's typical for lobular. So people
Does it show up in ultrasound?
It's problematic still. It shows up a little bit better, but you know, if you've got dense breasts, which I believe a large proportion of the population have, it's even less likely to show again. So there needs to be different guidelines and
How
so
do we
on.
find out more about the movie?
Then you go to
Go to the website again,
lobularmoonshot.org,
yeah,
and it's all
fantastic.
there. And things need to change because we deserve
And you've remained very positive, haven't you? And you've got a rose named after you. Tell me about that.
So exciting. That's Harkness and Roses is releasing a rose at this year's Chelsea Flower Show for work that I've done and what I'm doing with lobular. And £2.50 from every rose sold is going to go to the specific lobular fund at the Institute of Cancer Research. So
I'll have 100. Tell me where to sign up. I'll have a look.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank
It's great
you.
to see you.
Thank
you.
you.
Bear with me 1 second, if you would. It's great that you're smiling through. It's lovely to see you. Thank you. Quick look at the weather.